Y11.com. I'm Alex. Thank you for watching. I'm not really trying to be a vlogger. That's not really the plans. I'm looking at a camera. I'm talking to a camera, but I don't plan on being like a vlogger with like a hard R or anything like that. I don't know. I just, not really in the. I don't know. I'll make videos. I'll talk to you. I don't really plan on doing vlogging. Mac Media Day was earlier today. If you see pictures of some fat guy running around in one of these little shirts and one of these little hats, that was me. Talked to some Eastern players, talked to Chris Creighton, of course. Talked to some Mac players. I'm not going to tell you which ones, because at the end of this video, there's going to be an anonymous survey with some answers. Well, what are they going to say? What are they going to say? What are they going to say? The whole reason I'm actually doing like this introductory video and not just one video of 3 interviews with Samson Evans, Chase Kline, and Chris Creighton is because I'm not proud of the focus of the video. I'm not proud of it was just like a weird setup in there, and it was like a lot darker. And also, I just got this camera. I'm not the best at it. I just got this camera. So I wanted to actually get out in front and say like, hey, thank you for watching, but also pair it with saying like, I'm so sorry with what you're about to watch, because I'm not proud of the quality of the video, but I'm proud of the quality of the interviews that I was able to still have. I didn't get to have like 30 minutes sit down, one-on-one, all that stuff, but like I did sit down and have one-on-ones, but it just wasn't 30 minutes with those guys. Would have been nice to have more time with them, because I think the couple players that they did bring were they're good at this. I've talked to Chase, I've talked to Samson before. I'm not really surprised that they were the 2 candidates chosen to be the leaders and be the faces and the voices and the quotes to represent Eastern Michigan this summer in front of all the media. Not surprised by that at all. But yeah, just wanted to say that thank you for watching, and I'm so sorry for the quality of it. Haven't had to say this before for any Mac Media Day for Eastern, but you guys are coming off of a bowl-winning season. I know last time we had talked about that it was spring season and you had still doing all your recruiting stuff. And you said you didn't have too much time to really celebrate it, but still it has been 7 months, and there has been, I feel like, a level of joy to come with that. What has the past 7 months been like for you and your guys' program coming into this year with that kind of, hey, our last game was a bowl win?
Yeah, look, we loved it. It was, that's not the whole story. We failed versus Toledo. Right, that's the preeminent sentiment from last season, is that we were so close to be able to realize, what we really set out to do. Now, having said that, we are not going to dismiss winning the Michigan MAC, going and beating Arizona State, going to and winning a bowl game. Those are huge, and we had a ring ceremony, and you know what I mean? We've got pictures and video to prove it, right? That just that was awesome. But when you talk to our guys, right? I mean, what really sort of rises up is the fact that we lost in the last 2 minutes at home to the team that went and won the MAC championship.
And there's only so many ways that I can have you answer this next one, but over these past few months, I'm sure you've done a lot of self-scouting on your team, seeing a lot of things that, hey, this is where we went right. Hey, there's some things that, I know you guys went week by week and pointing out, what went right and what went wrong. But overall, what should be replicated in 2023 by your team? And maybe what are some aspects that, your team can really improve on to go from 9 to maybe 10 wins in a MAC championship this year?
Well, I'll start with special teams. We take great pride in our special teams, and those are led by our specialists. And for us to have 3 all-conference players back, even though Stephen Bird, they don't have an all-conference
right.
long snapper, he's an all-conference long snapper, and then Mitch Tomasek at punter and Jesus Gomez at kicker. So all 3 of those guys are coming back. We don't have to convince our guys that special teams win and lose football games. It was a blocked kick versus San Jose, right? We're down 13-0. That started that run, at the end of the first half, the 28 points. So that needs to be replicated and better. Defensively, we ended up shifting coverage and philosophically how we defended people there after the Buffalo game. And so people are going to have to see, how we've tweaked everything here in the last 7 months and, what our base is going to be. But we're going to have to play, great defense. And we did that at times last year for sure. Got to take the ball away. We did that, at times. We can do that more. And then offensively, we threw the ball and ran the ball well. Right, he had an over 1,000-yard rusher, and Samson set records for, rushing touchdowns, and at the same time, the combination of both Taylor and Austin and that group of receivers and tight ends, and, was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And so we've lost some wide receivers, 2 to graduation and 1 to the transfer portal. We like our group that is rising up, with Tanner Canute's leadership. That's a spot that, guys are going to have to step up. But yeah, so we're going to have to take care of the ball. Just like we said, we got to take it away. So I don't know if that exactly answers your question, but, just as I'm kind of getting into our, special teams, we got to do that and even do it better. We got to take care of the ball and take the ball away. Defensively, we've got to find a pass rush. Losing Jose is a really big deal.
Absolutely.
And then when you graduate a guy who started 9 games and then 3 receivers that played a lot, right? This guy's got to step up there.
On both sides of the ball for the coaching staffs, and again, we talked about this, you have new play callers with Pikowski, and then you also have Ben Needham, who's taking over for, Neil Nethery, the 2 at names.
Right, yeah.
You already have great history with them. Mike played for you. Coach Ben Needham, he used to coach with you over at Wabash and Drake too.
Yeah.
How has it been just, handing over their respective piece to them and letting them have the responsibilities that they have on each side of the ball? What's that been like over the past few months?
Yeah, no, I like how you asked the question. Handed over the keys. So it's not that we have 3 brand new coordinators that were not in the program, right? We do have 3 new coordinators. All were on our team last year. Coach Needham's been here for 5 years. Coach Pike I've known since he was, a junior in high school when he was 17 years old, and coached him through his entire career. And he's been a GA here, and then been our quarterbacks coach here, and then Coach Kersner was, part of our special team staff last year. So, I'm excited for him, to be honest with you. I really am. He was integral in our defensive staff last year, led by, Coach Nethery. I miss him for sure, always will. But, Coach Needham's been with us throughout it, and they're going to be very different in a lot of ways. And then there's going to be some core values that, you'll see stay the same. But I think there's been some good energy and some excitement about having him call the defense. And I think with Coach Pike, I had Coach Pike call the last 3 games last year, and he and I can finish each other's sentences. So it's really seamless, in that way. He's done a good job and will continue to do a really good job. And, with having, Coach Coughlin back with our offensive line and run game coordinator with Coach Blaney with our tight ends, there's a lot of experience right there, and all those guys, really respect each other, and so it'll be good.
I'm sure people won't really want to know, how different might the offense look. I know, over the past 9 years that you've been here, it's been spread, kind of keep things multiple, we'll change things up week to week, but it's kind of, spread it out, throw it around. And with Mike, Coach Pike, he's had you to look up to for the better part of his whole adult life, really, as a football coach. I wonder how many new ideas that he has that will be filtered into this offense that maybe we haven't seen before.
Yeah, just because we can finish each other's sentences doesn't mean that we always agree and do. He's bright and creative, and I'm excited. I just trust him. I trust his mind. He knows what's important. He knows, what our system is, and any good system, is going to be manipulated, right, to the talent and what we can and should be doing best. And so he'll do a great job with that. I do think that there'll be some significant wrinkles offensively that you will say, wow, this, that was not emphasized as much as it is this year. And I do think a lot of that has to do with our personnel though as well.
A couple last ones. When you came in, I knew that you had small family. They just had these kids, a couple handful of years old. Now, blinking an eye, 10 years later, they're all grown up. They're kind of in high school. Right. You have a high school quarterback at home.
Yeah.
What's that been like for you? Knowing your job and what you do for a living and having that at home. How have you been able to balance that? What's that experience been like?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I mean, all three of my kids, play and/or played high school sports, it's one of my personal goals, especially in the fall, to still be a part of seeing as much of that, as I can. I'm proud of all three of them and how they compete and the kind of teammates that they are. With Luke playing quarterback, I can't wait. I mean, I got to see not very many of his freshman games because they played during the week last year, but got to watch him on film with them and whatnot. And, I'm not his coach. I coach football, but I'm not his coach. When he asks me things, and he does, we certainly talk about it. Mm-hmm. We've been talking football, for his whole life, but he has coaches, and I'm excited to see, how things go. He loves it and is passionate about it. My daughter Kate will be a senior leader, on her volleyball team at Plymouth Christian Academy, and they've had a really, really, really strong program, my girls throughout their time and long before, the Creighton showed up, and can't wait to, follow her through her senior year of both volleyball in the fall and then soccer in the spring.
Is it is it tough trying to balance, your duties as your full-time job as your head coach here and being the father who wants to be supportive and watch, your kids play their sports, Is it hard to balance those two situations out? Is it fun? Like, I don't know what that's like.
Yeah. Is it hard? Yes. Because there's some things that, I can't go to, I can't be a part of. And, my wife is an angel, how much Uber driving she's done for our families, but, and Luke's going to be driving here soon, but all those years where those guys are doing club sports and, high school sports and whatnot and driving them around everywhere. But I've got a great staff, and, we really want to prioritize being, those of us who are husbands and fathers and doing that well. And so, our staff is, and our team is, going to allow me, and we allow each other to be a part of our, kids' lives as much as, humanly possible. So we're going to get creative a little bit with, Friday nights of home games, so I can be there and support my son.
Absolutely. Was he always going to be a high school quarterback? Was that just kind of like?
Yeah,
kind of like a thing he wanted.
Well, he's played. He played flag football. I mean, I got to coach him when he was 5. It was on Sunday afternoons when I was at Drake, and it was in the spring, and we were off that day. So his first season of football, I got to coach, which was a total blast. So yeah, he's always played quarterback, and he's excited about being a part of the Salem Rocks this fall.
Well, good luck to him. Good luck to you this year.
Yeah, no, appreciate it a lot.
Appreciate you. Before you guys actually won a bowl game last year, you guys made history. How does it feel to know that you guys made history? You've had 7 months to kind of celebrate it however you will, and then you get to use that as goodwill to come into the season with some more excitement. How has that been for you?
So it was awesome. So coming here at Eastern, my goal was to get a ring. And whatever fashion that was, MAC championship, bowl win, I wanted a ring with that E on it, and we got that. So at the time, it was super special. It's still super special, and now we're kind of trying to build upon that and trying to get further than that. A bowl game's awesome. 9 wins is a lot of teams don't ever do that. So being a part of that was sweet, and hopefully our goal this year is to build upon that and hopefully win more.
How many I never thought I'd see Eastern Michigan do that. I can't believe you guys did that. How many of those comments did you get over these past 7 months?
Oh, you hear it all the time. even when I was recruited out of high school, I was never recruited by Eastern. I'd never really even heard of Eastern until I was in the transfer portal. So, it's special to take a program from what was once the bottom considered to now, being one of the contenders.
Watching yourself, I'm sure you've done some self-scouting on yourself to make sure, hey, there's some things I did well, hey, or some things I, could have improved on. What are some things that you are happy with your performance of in 2022, and what are some things that you want to improve on to have, your best senior season possible?
Yeah, so I think one of the things I did well on was identifying like blitzes and stuff like that. When I first got to Eastern, I was more like the third down back, so I was more just like power and picking up blitzes. So I think I do that pretty well. I think one of the things I've been trying to work on is more just like agility, hitting holes faster and stuff like that, because I know I have the power behind myself, but like being able to hit those holes quicker will be a lot helpful for me.
Did like you coming in with like kind of like a simple approach to your running game, did that kind of like help you grow as a running back? Because if I'm trying to come in to anything and I have like all these responsibilities because I want to do, I want to be like the fastest runner, I want to be the best like short distance, I want to be the best long distance, I want to be the best power back. But did it kind of help you to like, achieve some like small parts of your game as you developed here?
No, I think it did for sure, because when I first got to Eastern, like my goal was to get on the field any way I could. And at first, like in high school I was a quarterback, so I never blocked. And then I was like, okay, I'm at Eastern. If I can learn to block, I can play third downs. And if I can run hard, I can play third downs. So it kind of just kept building and building. And then I'm still trying to work on my other parts of my game, like speed. Like I have speed. I don't really get to open up that much because I'm more of like a run into someone type of a player. So, but yeah, I would definitely say that it's helped me build.
Coach Pikowski, I know he's not new to the staff, but he is new to entering the season as the playmaker and all that stuff, right? How has that relationship been? What's it been like trying to learn his way of running an offense, and what are you excited for?
Oh, it's great. I love Coach Pike. He's a great mind. I mean, he loves joking around. He loves just being a friend to all the players. And I think we're all really excited to see what he can bring to the table for a whole season instead of just part of the season like last year. And I think he really stepped up to the plate last year and really helped us win a lot of games. And I'm excited to see what he can do for us this year.
Is your role going to change at all with the offense? I mean, there's only so much like difference you can do as a running back. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know the answer to that question yet. I mean, at the end of the day, my biggest goal is to win. And if my role has to change a little bit to achieve that, then that's okay with me. Because I know Jalen's been stepping up and he's been doing really well. He kind of really got a hold and comfortable with the offense but later in the season. And I think he's going to have a phenomenal year this year. And we have other backs too that are really good as well. So I think as a whole unit, if we can just figure out what pieces can go where, we're going to be really good.
Yeah, I mean, like, I kind of want to jump into that a little bit. Like, you mentioned Jalen, Deion Brown, obviously, he showed out in the spring game and all through spring. He's a first-year player, but it looks like he might be dynamite. What are you looking at it with this running back team, and how does it kind of compare to other running back units with different skill sets throughout Eastern? Like, how, what are you looking forward to in your running back room?
I think we got a little bit of everything. Like, Jalen's, like, super fast, but he's also a very physical running back. And we got guys like Elijah Jackson, who hasn't had an opportunity yet, but he's super physical, super good. Dante McMillan just came in. He's really good. So I think once we get into fall camp and see where the pieces can fall, we'll be able to tell like where we're putting players and what scenarios and how that all fits.
Last question for you for the Eastern stuff. Your brother, of course, I can only ask you, how do you see him stepping up this year? I mean, you said, do you guys still live together too right now?
Yeah, we live together, so I mean, I see it firsthand. He's been putting in a ton of work. He just changed his number back to his old high school number, 33, so I'm excited to see him out there. He's going to be really good this year, I have a feeling. He's been getting so much stronger, so much faster. He takes it really serious, and he wants that starting job at end, and I think he might get it.
What number did you wear in high school?
I was 22 in high school.
You were 22 in high school? Oh, that's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah,
you don't see too many quarterbacks with like 20s plus.
I kind of wore 22 growing up throughout my whole career. When I first came to Eastern, they didn't have 22 open, so I had 34. Right. I didn't really like 34, but like I love Walter Payton. He's my favorite running back.
Yeah,
I was okay with it, but like once 22 opened up, I literally like minutes after it opened up, I texted our guy, and he was like, all right, I got you.
You guys are coming off of a season where you finished with a bowl win at Eastern Michigan. History in its own right has been made in 35-year no winning streak there. How has that excitement over the past 7 months been for you guys? Just kind of like relaxing with it, being able to appreciate the moment, and just having a season to look forward to with this sort of momentum. How has that been for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think something you just said there, like appreciating the moment, is at the time we really appreciated the moment, and obviously it was a success. But to bring it all back is what we set out to do last year, we failed at. And we lost to Toledo, and everybody knows that's a heart-crushing blow for us. So The success is a motivator because it knows that we were that close. We were right there to attaining our goals, and we can attain our goals. So I would say the making history, the breaking the drought, very important and very good for confidence builders going into the season. But also that drive from that heartbreak, like so those two coinciding, I think are really motivating us to have a great season this year.
In terms of self-scouting for yourself, I'm sure that you've watched and studied like how you performed last year, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that you liked, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that you saw where you're like, I need to get better at that.
Absolutely.
What are those things? What did you like, and what are you trying to improve heading into this year?
I think my first year taking on like a starting role like that, I did a really good job with my leadership and being vocal, and then also making plays and like showing, like no one likes a vocal leader who doesn't make plays, right? So that was good to cement myself. But all around, working more on hip mobility, increasing my ability to move, and play in space better and better, and really worked on coverage a lot.
You guys are not that Ben Needham's new to you. You've obviously came into the program here. He was already there. He's been here since 2018, I think.
Yeah.
But you guys are still switching defensive playbooks with Needham being the new guy in charge. How has that transition been going from Nethery to Needham? And how do you see your role in trying to help instruct this new playbook with a bunch of new players?
Yeah, I'm definitely really excited to be working with Coach Needham. He brings a lot of experience, and I know he worked previously at Kent and with the Ohio State coaching tree, and there's a lot of success from that tree. But yeah, I'm really excited. There's going to be a lot of carryover and a lot of similarities to what we did before, so it's not going to be a huge culture change. Like you said, bringing our own inside guy to be the DC was really nice for a smoother transition. And I know everyone's excited about it. And myself, I'm a lot older now. I'm in a more veteran position, and it's more about developing and teaching the young guys than it is going over the playbook over and over and over with myself, because I know it now like the back of my hand. So just developing the young guys, helping everybody out, and being the leader that they need on the field.
Was it a big jump or a big difference in between the way that the last defensive coordinator, I'm blanking on the name right now, Neil Nethery.
Yep.
Yeah. In the way that he wanted out of his defense, and is there a big difference between him and the way Needham is trying to have his defense be ran?
I would say they obviously have their own individual men and they have their own individual coaching styles, but I would say there's a lot of carryover with the 4 down, and yeah, it's a smooth transition. It's not been an abrupt thing. It's not been a terrible process. But every week last year we were running a new defense and new calls, new specific things. So I think that's something that's credits my guys and me as well, is the ability to adapt, the ability to make in-game decisions and changes to help us win.
How do you see your role on the field? Is it still going to be like in that Mike spot, or are you going to be able to move around the field and be used at different spots? How do you see
Well,
yourself?
I don't want to give everybody too many keys, but I'll be still sitting in the middle, big number 6 in the middle, and I'm sure you'll see me wreaking havoc all over the field.
What's it going to take for you to get into the NFL? Not get into the NFL. I'm sorry, be drafted into the NFL. Like you saw, you've seen Jose do it. You've just met Max pretty recently. He himself did it. What's it going to take for you to do that?
Yeah, I think it's just about focusing on the little things this year, and I think I had a lot of good reviews off what I did last year, and I've been taking care of the little things this offseason, and I think that's going to be the difference. That's going to help me propel to the next level, and just always keeping everything in perspective, because if I play with my hair on fire and every play is my last play, all that NFL stuff will take care of itself. You know what I mean? If I'm be a leader for my team and work as hard as I can, it'll take care of itself. I just want to make this team the best team possible, and NFL accolades, all that stuff will come with that.
I think you don't actually want to play with your hair on fire, though, because then
I might lose some inches, right?
Yeah,
right.
Like a lot of them.
You're right. Maybe just my blood boiling then.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Anonymous question.